They said I'll never run. Now I run marathons. They said I'll never have a job. Today, I work with global leaders. They said I'll never speak. Now I give speeches to hundreds of people at a time. They said I would never walk. Now I can jump 6 meters. The skills of people with intellectual disabilities go way beyond sports. We will defy your expectation. Help us build a more inclusive world.
Welcome one and all to Gaming for Inclusion Showcase. My name is Kate, and alongside me, I have two of my favorite casters ever. They are known as Jose and Lily. And let's start with a little bit about yourselves. Lily, you want to talk about somebody who is super busy doing every single thing. You are in school. You are a podcaster. You are doing interviews with pro players, and you work. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, it's not a podcast. It's a YouTube channel.
Ha! There you go. Good to know.
Yes. I am 21 years old. I am a COD student. I will be graduating with a in the spring with a associates in journalism.
Nice.
I've been doing a lot of athlete and week interviews. And also, I was just here last year for the GFI Showcase last year. And of course, I said my favorite catchphrase, which was denied. And that was fun.
We're going to hear, I'm sure, a lot of that today because we'll be playing a lot of Forza Motorsport. We'll talk about that in a hot second because first, we got to talk to Jose. We call him the Matador. Fun fact, he is absolutely a staple here for our Special Olympics casters. Jose, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I have a question for you.
Okay, I've been doing a lot of gaming, Rocket League, of course, and just having fun.
You are definitely having fun. Speaking of fun, I have a note to ask you about a plane pull. What's that about? What's going on there?
Sure. Well, in October, I'm going to be pulling a 747 plane, and it's 95 tons with 20 of my other wonderful friends in O'Hare.
Oh my gosh.
And it all benefits Special Olympics.
Wow. Okay. Well done, Jose. My gosh, that is going to be a deep pull. I appreciate that. That's excellent.
Yeah, you should come out.
You know what? Maybe I will, and maybe I will. Excellent. Well, speaking of ways to support, hey, listen, if you want to support the Special Olympics, and why wouldn't you? It's a great organization that these two lovely casters are a part of, and that I am so excited to be a part of as well. And go to our description. You can find a place to donate there. Tiltify is the donation platform, and become part of the Special Olympics family. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we're doing today because, Lily, we've got a big day planned. We're going to be interviewing a couple of really fun people that are part of an organization called Clever Like, and Clever Like does things that they bring gaming and education together, right? We saw a little bit of a video you'll see here in a hot second, but are you excited to talk to the Clever Like people and learn a little bit more about what they do?
I am really excited. I'm excited to see how they collaborate with education and video games and how they teach their students around the country how video games and education could be all in one.
I love it. Anytime you include video games, I'm on board. And Lily, another person we're talking to is someone from the accessibility team at Xbox because they've got a bunch of stuff. They just premiered their new joystick. How excited are you to talk to Caitlin a little bit later in the show?
It's getting really exciting because I actually watched the videos like before I came here.
Yeah.
And I'll be interviewing her a bit later on
on my
YouTube channel.
Now, y'all may have noticed this fabulous display of apples and fruit. You like rocket apples?
I do. They're really tasty.
They are.
And crunchy.
Yeah.
And crunchy. Lily, you've had rocket apples, right?
Yeah.
Well, for that and so many reasons, we want to say a huge thank you to our great sponsors for today's event, Rocket Apples. You want to grab a rocket apple and go snack? I know I do, and I certainly will. So we're going to thank them so much for being a part of today's competition and tournament. This tournament is going to basically we've got 6 players. We've got 3 Special Olympic athletes, who have made it here through a qualifier, which we'll talk about in a second, and they have 3 unified partners. Is that correct, Jose?
Yeah, that is correct.
Excellent. And it's something that we've done a lot of, right? This is a Special Olympics like specialty, especially in the esports world.
The unified partners are really big into this event, because without the unified partners, it would just be the athletes playing video games. With the unified partners, then they have a friend to play with. It could be your cousin, it could be your family member, it could be a police officer.
I love it. That's awesome. And you know what? Playing together is always good. I love that too. So we have 4 tracks. We're playing Forza Motorsport. This is from 2023. We've got 4 tracks that we'll be playing, and we'll keep those a surprise until they come a little bit later. But the first 3 are going to be our qualifiers. So they're going to be a best of 3. Our entire field of racers are going to have fun today. That's the entire point of today, is to have some fun and really showcase what Special Olympics can do, especially in the community. People made it here because they got through a tournament that we had earlier in the week. Jose, can you go ahead and throw us to the tournament recap that we've got?
Let's go to that tournament recap. Oh, look at that wonderful goal! Another wonderful goal.
Brandon B is doing awesome.
He is doing awesome. Yeah. And I like how that defense that they're playing in this cap. Another goal.
Man, just back and forth.
Yeah. Cool. Wow. From half court. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Jeez. So we have Brandon, got Richard. We got a lot of goals.
We're just going back and forth with those
I mean,
goals.
just
Oh,
massive.
wow. You saw that beautiful aerial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many goals is this?
That's by Stephanie.
Yeah, Stephanie did some great stuff there.
She does.
Man, a lot of near misses, right, Lily? I mean, I've seen a lot of almost goals.
Yeah.
And there's Stephanie's driving it too.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
come
That's a
on.
beautiful aerial. And that's going to be a goal. Oh.
Oh, they were robbed.
Yeah, they were really robbed. Goal.
Man, I'll tell you what, Lily, it feels like Stephanie would be a good person to have on your team.
Wow.
Hey, we got Zachary beat and then Colin. I mean, there are some incredible Rocket League players here.
Yeah.
They're using Jose, like you said, to is that a Cybertruck?
That's pretty cool.
But I love it.
I like that animation that came out. And yeah, when they did that wonderful goal.
Boy, they are using so much of that aerial quality.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell these athletes and the Unified Partners have been practicing to get to this showcase.
You are absolutely right. And, you know, of course, it did take a lot of games to get you, like, grinding pretty great to get to this showcase here today. So they definitely have been paying their dues.
Yeah.
And every time a team scores, they're one step closer competing in today's tournament.
Right.
Tell you what, it's very satisfying when they get goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boy.
It looks like they really are really excited, like, because both teams are going back and forth.
They are. And by the way, they are all over this map. They are definitely using the space. There's not a lot of, like, clumping up and being defensive over offensive. They're pretty balanced.
Yeah.
Whew. Look at that. I mean,
Wow.
Fallback Fawn, I do appreciate all of their gamer tags. Ocean Win.
Yeah, I like the unique gamer tags that they have.
Do, yeah. I do see that there's a bit of a nice like back and forth from a team perspective. You can see a lot of one person setting up the other to take the shot.
I'm pretty sure that they're talking with each other. So once you're talking with each other, you're getting good communications.
That's key for sure. That is definitely key. Oh, and look at that. Dewan just out of nowhere, seemingly, just like a bullet.
Yeah.
Holy goodness. Wow. Okay. So, Jose, as somebody who's obviously a big fan of Rocket League, how did that feel? I mean, who on that team did you want on your team, you think?
I would have to pick Stephanie.
Stephanie, yeah. Sounds like Stephanie's kind of the OG. She's the MVP. Lily, how about you? Were any of those players, I mean, Stephanie, Richard, DeQuan, like, who do you have? Who do you wish that you had on your team?
I would say no one.
No one?
Yeah.
You're going to go solo dolo?
Yeah.
You are very courageous, and I'm into it. That's excellent. Okay, well, I'll see that. That's fair. Recently, a group of Special Olympic athletes got to go to Mojang Studios. Mojang, they create Minecraft. They were there for a build challenge powered by Cleverlike. Want to know more? Check this out.
I just wanted to welcome you here for our esports event, where you guys will be competing and using your creativity, your imagination, and paired up with some very talented folks on our team.
When I was sitting with the developer, we were collaborating together to figure out how to get the build done correctly, to see if the people can guess the actual answer to the actual build.
I would always sneak into my mom's room while she was playing Minecraft with her friends. And it just felt like another world of fantasy and creation and destruction that I could really just kind of fall into. I was able to use some of my technical skills, like layering glass for a pool.
Basically going to the building challenges, it's working as an actual team effort and seeing how well you can do it versus other players.
Girl power. Having somebody who works on a game sit side by side with you and compete in their game, never in a million years thought that was something I'd be able to do. I felt like everybody else in the world for that length of time because I was able to communicate with somebody who created a game that I love, and they were able to see the same image in their head that I see in my head.
It's amazing how much gaming has played a part in the younger generations. I see it as a powerful tool to reach young children and maybe help them in the future with possible career goals or paths. It's a tremendous tool, it really is.
I hope that showed them that there's a lot more behind the scenes than in not just the development, but there's the people relations and management and the business aspect of it too.
The skill that I have learned mainly through esports, I believe truly, to be honest, it would have to be leadership.
At a young age, he was pretty much nonverbal. And through time and through training, he grew. But utilizing the gaming, I think, has opened him up even more. And he's able to communicate, collaborate, and build worlds with friends of his that they enjoy tremendously.
It's going to give them something that they can interact with other people. It's going to give them the chance to, express themselves.
When I first joined Special Olympics, I struggled to talk and communicate. I thought that if I didn't get something right on the first time, that I had failed. And it was the first time in my life that people came over and told me it was okay. And I hadn't ever heard that. It was like, oh, there's this light at the end of the tunnel, things get better. And because of Special Olympics, I'm now in college and I have a 4.0 GPA and I'm gonna go to a 4-year. People say it takes a village, and I don't think people realize that that's what Special Olympics becomes. It becomes your village.
I think it gives a chance for other people to, get seen out there and get a chance to feel like they're involved in the bigger picture, especially with Special Olympics.
We're being more noticed in the community of the world. We're not just like a little activity or hobby.
At the end of the day, esports is a sporting competition, and allowing Special Olympics to join and be a part of this just gives us one more sport that we can really shine at and show the world that we're just like everybody else. Something that might seem scary or intimidating, you can put into perspective of, well, if I can do it in a video game, then I can do it here. Because if I'm strong and a hero in a video game, I can be strong and a hero in real life.
I'm dyslexic and autistic, and I've been doing, well. You don't need to be scared if you're mentally disabled or physically disabled. You just gotta know the courage and the mindset to be in.
I have a condition called epilepsy, and with my condition, sometimes playing video games can be really, really rough. Very quickly into it, I started to get seizure sickness and seizure auras, and they said, well, here, let's try a couple things. These were accessibility options that I didn't even know were available, and it helped immensely. It's nice to know that you are seen by the people who create something that you love, that they really, truly care about what they're doing and about how you view it and want to make it work for you. There is always a way. We've come so far in our technology.
The future is unwritten, so, the sky's the limit. And as long as he's doing something he's loved, I'm happy.
Wow. Okay, Lily, Jose, you guys have been to Microsoft Studios. You guys have been around and seen some of these game developers and things on different Special Olympics events. How cool was it to go and see where games are made? Jose?
It was pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome?
Yeah, going to Microsoft.
Yeah.
Especially at Mojang.
I know, man. Lily, you loved being able to go and talk to some of the people behind some of these games, some of the esports people that we had last year. We just saw this incredible group of Special Olympic athletes. They got to go and talk to people who were actually making Minecraft and have a great time. What'd you think?
It was pretty cool. Going to Microsoft and getting training, and also getting training for a lot of different people like you, fellow and Spaceman are pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. Well, you know what else is pretty cool is combining education with gaming, and we're going to introduce two people that we, the three of us, get to chat with about just that. Please welcome to the show. We got Brian and we got Eric. Gang, they're from Clever Like. Hello, hello. Feel like we should give them a round of applause.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
I mean, that never happens, so we're going to accept it. We love it.
Wow.
We're going to take it.
You know what? We'll give it as well. So this works out great. Let's talk real quick. How do skills, and Brian, we'll start with you. How do these skills translate from gaming into sort of the future skills in general for players?
Yeah, absolutely. We teach at the highest level, at the collegiate level, and we see these gamer skills that you get from learning how to navigate in three-dimensional space, how to learn new problem solving and these communication skills. And what students are learning through gaming is all these skills that translate into like future careers, So I think of it as like, word processing, as it was back in the day. It was an important thing to learn, not just because you wanted to write books, but you wanted to be able to communicate. So by playing games, you're learning a whole new skill of future communication, and that translates to a lot of career success.
How are video games used in education?
So I love this question. Just as a little background, my background is in K-12 education. I've been a classroom educator. I've taught teachers for a long time how to use games in their classroom for education. And it really comes in two ways. There's game-based learning, and this is where we go into the game and we experience some knowledge or something that we can learn about through the environment that we're immersed in, through the characters that we talk to and things like that. But there's also this opportunity to use game-based creation. And what I love, and I'm really passionate about, we are really passionate about game-based creation, is we're giving students a tool set. And again, just like PowerPoint or Microsoft Word or anything else, getting into a word processor, in the classroom, there were always these opportunities where it's like, we're in science, we're going to do a science project and you're going to have that 3-fold board, or we're going to do social studies and you're going to make that cardboard box diorama that every student has ever made for the history of shoeboxes existing. But if I tell my students we can make that in Minecraft, guess which one they want to do, guess which one they're passionate about, guess which one engages them, gets them excited, and they want the tool set to show off their knowledge in that game environment, which is something that's meaningful to them.
How does education play in the real world for architects that are doing those 3D graphics for like major buildings?
I have a great anecdote for that because we lost one of our great Minecraft builders to Cornell University architecture. We also have younger students that have worked with us and have gone on into civil engineering, you know, and urban planning and development. And so the planning that goes into the work that they do in Minecraft, like that's the beautiful thing about using it as a creation tool is you study the content so deeply that you're producing in the game, you become an expert in that content, which translates to all kinds of uses of that content. So yeah, like we've seen it firsthand where kids that just loved playing video games and connecting with their friends and creating wonderful things just kind of got them more interested, more engaged, and led to success when it came time to start to pursue a career.
All right.
I love it.
Thank you for answering that question.
Yeah. Very cool for future success using gaming like that. And you know what, Brian, you mentioned engagement, and Eric, you as well. Eric, this will be a question for you. How can you I think you've answered this a little bit, but let's dive in a little deeper. How can we use gaming to really engage? You mentioned like it's a lot more interesting for students to, instead of a diorama, to just jump into Minecraft. Is there anything else you can tell us about, how gaming can help really excite and engage students everywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just about what they're making. It's about like this entire environment of bringing that into schools and into classrooms and into the learning process, because one of the things that schools have been struggling with, especially since the pandemic, is attendance. Mm-hmm. And by giving students these opportunities that they're passionate about, it gives them reasons to be there. Just like, we look at traditional athletics, football, baseball, whatever it may be, was a reason for some of those students to be in school and to be successful in their classes. Well, gaming provides that same encouragement, that same engagement, that same passion. And especially something like competitive esports, for example, can really, again, bring students into the classroom, give them a program that they own. And that's a key part of it, that they own, that they're passionate about, that they want to see thrive. And we see it happen across schools, nationwide, globally, etc. And they bring so many other career pathways to it, right? Marketing becomes a part of it. Graphic design becomes a part of it. It's incredible, the passion around it, and that passion can be leveraged into school and student success.
Well, it's pretty clear to see you all have some incredible passion. A huge thank you for all that you do at Clever Like. And of course, if you are watching and you want to be a part of the Clever Life movement, we'll call it the Power On movement, you can go to cleverlike.com to learn more. Brian, Eric, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having
us. Yeah.
Well, a huge thank you, of course, again to Eric and to Brian from Clever Like. Cleverlike.com if you want to learn more information about them, of course. And we've got a lot more action in store right after this. welcome back. You are joining us here for the Gaming for Inclusion Showcase Tournament, and we are knee-deep in the beginning of our tournament. We'll be playing Forza Motorsport. This came out October of the last year, and it has been making the rounds on such a great game. Well, we've got the best of 3 with our Special Olympic athletes and their United partners. They made it here after a very incredible Rocket League tournament that garnered them the ability to be here at the showcase. We're going to do best of 3 in terms of maps, and then that 4th map, it's going to be our exhibition map, and there's going to be a little surprise in it for them, which we'll tell you about a little bit later. Let's talk to team number 1. We got Zach and we got Trevor. Welcome to the showcase.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Excited for the day.
Excited for the day, for sure. Yeah, and by the way, Zach, I really appreciate all the color coordination you have going on. That is a pro move.
Thank you very much. Basically, what I decided to do was I decided to put on my my Special Olympics Pasco athlete leader shirt.
Yeah, awesome.
I just decided with it, and I'm like, oh, what? I'm just gonna wear it.
I love it. It looks great for sure. Lily, let's start the question with you.
What about the wheel, Zach?
So this is a Logitech G29 Zero. It has a shifter. Has the wheel and it has the pedals, which is unfortunately I'm not going to be using it today. I'm going to be using my controller. Since I'm a lot better on controller, if I'm going to be honest. The wheel, like for example, if I try to spin the wheel, it's just the downforce is like crazy, and basically my car just goes whip. I'm like, really?
So Trevor, can you tell us, explain to us one thing about you? Like, what's an interesting about you?
My main thing is that so I got here by playing Rocket League. I'm a big Rocket League player. I coach Rocket League, coach kids, coach adults, college kids all the time. And then they threw this curveball of a different car game at me. I'm going to be really bad, and that's okay because Zach's a pro. He's got the wheel. He's been playing. He's practicing a lot. So I'm hoping he carries me today.
Is there anything that you're looking forward to? We're gonna head off to our next interview, but I really want to know last final looks. Zach, anything you're excited about for today? Any kind of strategy you can share with us?
I'm just excited for today. Basically, good luck, everyone.
Nice.
And hope you have fun, everyone.
Wow. See, what a cool. Look at you, Zach. I'm a fan of you. Okay, great. You guys have a great time. We will see you on the tarmac here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, let's meet 2 more competitors that are going to make today's tournament even more fun. John, Colin, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Awesome. Jose, I know you had a question for Colin.
I did.
Because there's some hardware behind him that we need to ask about.
So, Colin, can you explain a little bit about your medals that you have behind on your wall, and then your championship trophies?
And I did compete the medals from Do Sports. And is sports, I did do the Special Olympics esports from last time for Rocket League in person. And plus, I got the Athlete of the Year award from my last county in Monroe.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So you got the Athlete of the Year award. Were you really excited when you got the Athlete of the Year award?
Yeah, I was shocked.
I love it. I know you guys have already made your mark winning to get here today. John, what are you expecting strategy-wise? Because I know that Colin very clearly is gifted at these games.
Just putting that accelerator down and going through.
Going through.
I expect to get carried again.
Awesome. Well, Colin, I'm excited to see you on the track. John, can't wait to see you support this teammate. And thank you so much for joining us. Good luck, and we'll see you on the tarmac.
Thank you.
I feel like Colin was really confident. What do you think, Lily?
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, Look at all those medals. My goodness.
He was confident. Like,
Yeah.
all those medals from Rocket League and the tournaments that he's played.
Yeah.
And the trophy that he won from his county. That's pretty cool.
And they may be team number 3, but they are definitely a powerhouse. Please welcome Tyrell and Richard. Gents, welcome to the show and the tournament.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey.
Glad to be here. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah. Jose, I know Jose saw something, Tyrell, that he wants to. He's curious about.
Yeah, Terrell. I see that artwork in the back.
What's up?
Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
So it's just like a big eyeball. I go by Cyclops. So I don't have anything that falls on like intellectual disabilities, but I'm physically disabled, so I'm blind in this eye and I'm legally blind in the other. So I stream on Twitch, and that's my Savant Cyclops, by the way, shameless plug. You know, if you're not gonna brand yourself, who's gonna do it? But that is my little mascot right there.
That's cool. Did you draw it yourself?
No, actually, I had somebody I commissioned it. Somebody drew it, but I do actually do 3D artwork myself. But 2D spaces, I don't really mess with that too much.
That's cool.
Well, I will tell you that I'm so excited. Can't wait to see how y'all do on the tarmac. Good luck, and we'll see ya on the raceway. So we've got 3 teams, 2 players apiece, who are just dominating their last tournament. But Lily, do you think it's going to be a little bit interesting to see these players who played Rocket League, and now it's still a racing game, but it's Forza? Do you think there's going to be any change?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? You think they're going to be fast either way?
Yeah.
Jose, what are you expecting from today's gameplay?
I think there's going to be a big change because they're not going to have that soccer ball, and they're going to be racing on a track. It could be dry, it could be wet, it could be snowing.
I mean,
who knows?
Just like life.
Exactly.
And we're going to set up for race number 1, and we'll be right back. So stick around.
I used to never really talk. Ever. I was afraid if I said something wrong, everyone would laugh at me. But then I started to play golf with Special Olympics. It helped me to find my voice. And now everyone else is speechless.
Welcome back. We are definitely knee-deep in our Gaming for Inclusion showcase here today. We've got Lily, we've got Jose, and of course we have you. Thanks so much for joining us. We're in race number 1. We're playing Forza. This is on a map for Forza Motorsport from 2023. We're calling it Hakone. This is actually, fun fact, a real live racetrack. All of the racetracks in Forza Motorsport are what they call 1-to-1. So they're all mapped so that they can have as close of specifications as they have in reality. Isn't that kind of cool?
That is cool.
Yeah. So Lily, do you want to go to Japan real quick just for funsies?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's take a look. Let's jump right in. This is Hakone and see how these players take on this 2.7 kilometer track that I've been told is pretty difficult. Okay, team, here we go. Man, okay, first of all, Lily, I gotta say, I love that they've chosen yellow for the car.
I like that color yellow. It stands out really well.
It absolutely does. And I think what's interesting, too, is that he's taken those curves very well. I mean, he is really doing a great job hugging those curves. Lily, have you ever heard of drifting?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, well, we're watching it right now. It's sort of where a car will drift into and out of turns like that. And look at, here we go. Okay, we've got our Teddy in the lead right now. In the lead. They're not too far behind. So if you see on that left side, you can see these players who's going back and forth. And looks like our Teddy and Colin are neck and neck, 1 and 2, followed by Zach. And I'm seeing a lot of gameplay that very clearly is pretty technical here, Jose.
Yeah, they're pretty even. Because they're going back and forth. So it looks like they're even with each other.
They're doing a great job on these curves, right, Lily? Yeah. Well, and I think also you'll notice Hakone, what a beautiful track, don't you think?
Yeah, I really want to go to Japan. That track looks so much like realistic that I really want to go watch some really.
Yeah. Well, and this is a racetrack that they use a lot in New Year's celebrations. It's a really great cultural affair that Japan has every year. So that works great. Something else to remember, we're doing 4 laps here. Oh, and now we're into Colin. Okay, let's take a look, Lily, at Colin's gameplay here. First of all, how do you feel?
It looks pretty cool how he does it.
And my apologies, that's Zach, actually. Zach, the guy with the all-blue outfit here, and yet he's rocking a nice copper car.
Yeah, I like that copper car.
Yeah.
He is hugging the turns a little bit too tight, but he's getting really well to those turns. And yeah, he's hitting the wall a little bit, but it's a learning curve.
Literally.
And with that learning curve, you're going to learn a lot of new moves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, and also, I'll say this. Look at this. They've got a nice handle. Oh, we've got... Oh, we've got a saboteur. Let's see how this works. Don't worry, everybody. The damage is just cosmetic.
But he already has damage on his car, so it could take a little bit from his timing off.
Could do, but luckily for us, it's just cosmetic, so we don't have to worry about having an impact on the car. But I do love the fact that we've got some... Lily, are you a fan of the bumper car game?
I don't know.
Don't know? Okay, that's fair. Well, right now, we've got a lot on the line here. We're 3 laps in, everybody. Our Teddy coming in hot at number 1. Okay, we got our Teddy, we got Colin. I see crazy Zach down there in 4, but don't worry, gang. A lot can happen in this last lap. And this is a hard race course here, Jose. A hard one for sure.
It looks really hard. The course there's a lot of curves. There's a lot of straightaways. The straightaways are going to be easier for these players, but the curves I think is a little bit. You have to let off on your.
Oh, look at this! Look at this!
Brakes.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that
oh my gosh! Colin is Zach is going up. He is going up. Holy gosh! Here he goes. He just rocketed himself to 2nd place. Lily, that has got to be a more dramatic way to end this first lap. Oh my gosh! Who do we have here? I love it. Also, you know, Lily, you asked about Zach's setup. It looks like he is actually using the wheel. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool that he's using the wheel. I think it's going to give him an advantage.
I think you might be right. Here we go. Let's see it. And this is the final lap. We are 4 laps in. This is our final one. As you can see on the right side, there is a map, a little mini map. That blue line is our finish. The yellow is actually our first yellow car. That is, of course, our Teddy 87, our Team 3 car with Terrell and Richard. And that is Richard's car. And man, I'll tell you what, it looks like we know. I mean, there's a pretty good chance that the leader here, that Richard is going to pull it out for this team, this first team on this first race here?
Yeah, I think he got a pretty fast car.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think you're right. Absolutely. And remember, he's at the end of that straightaway here,
Right.
so we're coming into the curviness. And Lily, the curves are really difficult, especially for cars that are supposed to be going as fast as they need to win this first race. Love it. Yep. There we go. Okay, so they've obviously, Richard is slowing down a little bit. Jose, he's taking his time because you can see he's a lot farther ahead. But let's be clear, we just saw Zach pummel through to be second place. So let's find out what they're gonna have happen here in this final straightaway.
I think it's going to be neck to neck.
You think
Zach
so?
and Teddy.
Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like Richard is just about to get his way through our final, and man, well, that yellow car, Lily and Jose, that yellow car really pulled it out, the Toyota Supra, the 2020 Toyota Supra, and man, I think we just saw Team 3 dominate. What do you think, Lil?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did pretty good. Do you think you'd be able to drive better than that?
Yeah.
Forza? Yeah, you would? Okay, I agree. That's fair.
I can't even drive that fast, and I drive a car.
I can't. Listen, I don't like driving, but I'll tell you this: that raceway is no joke. So don't forget, that's a big deal. Okay, we've seen map number 1 done and dusted. Team 3 came out on top, but who's going to come out on map number 2? Stick around to find out. Welcome back, Gaming for Inclusion. This is our showcase, and we are joined, of course, by my co-casters. We got Lily, we got Jose, and let's jump on in to our second race of the day. This is Grand Oak National. Vroom. Okay, gang, here we go.
He was spinning his wheels like, let's go.
Yeah, well, he seems to be in high spirits and certainly doing well right off the jump. Fun fact, everybody, Grand Oak National is a fictional raceway that our friends at Forza Motorsport have put together, and they know what they're doing. They do a lot of race mapping in the real world, and they've made this one 7 turns in total. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a sight, and clearly they've got a lot of spectators that are digitally enhanced. Look at that. Okay, let's take a look at our leaderboard. Looks like we've got Richard in first. That's Team 3 here, gang. And then coming up after that, we've got Zach's team, followed by, of course, Colin's team. Lily, we were talking about these are 3 teammates, and I know you have a lot of experience with sports, team sports, individual sports, including one. that you just recently took up. Tell me about powerlifting.
So I started powerlifting for 3D, I think last birthday. I relearned the techniques of how to do it, and now it's gonna be a team, and it's gonna be really fun. And we had like 2 people who actually know how to do it. We do it like huge, like everything, and it's a lot of cool techniques behind it.
Nice.
So Lily, now that you're starting powerlifting, I've done powerlifting in the past. What's your favorite? Do you like the bench press, the deadlift, or the squat?
I think, well, probably probably deadlift, because for bench press, I don't know if I can do it because of my pacemaker, but I could still do it.
Yeah, I think you can get that deadlift, and you're gonna get stronger week by week. And by the time you get to the regionals, you're gonna be pulling really high weight for that deadlift.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
A buff Lily. This is great.
Yeah, I could see her in the next 6 months being really, really big.
That's excellent. You're going to be able to lift so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you decide to go and powerlift?
I signed up for it.
Okay, excellent.
Make sure to take some protein shakes.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's a very good pro tip, Jose. Now let's jump in and take a look at our race right now. We still have Richard in the front, and he's leading pretty well. But listen, looks like Zach, Jose, is right behind him. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this looks very, very close. You can see on that mini map how close those two
they're really like neck to neck by looking at that map. And we're in lap 3, so anything can happen. 3 out of 4 laps. So
yeah, it does look like Richard and Terrell, that team number 3, they've done a really great job of what looks like practice, because they're dominating this tournament
practice
so far.
And communication.
Yep.
And seeing where each other are going to be on the track.
Absolutely. And we're taking a look here. This is Zach. This is Zach in the copper-colored car. Try saying that 3 times fast. Don't do it. Either way, we've got a nice, steady straightaway right now. But don't get too excited, because we have a quick turn. And my gosh, these turns are very tough. You can see, obviously see Zach taking a little bit of that side. And I will say this, Jose, they've been doing a pretty good job taking these turns and drifting a bit, but they're doing a great job of staying on the track.
Yeah, they're staying on the track. Nobody's like going onto the grass or crashing onto the sidewalls or anything like that. So they're drifting a lot, but the more that you drift, the easier it's gonna get, because the track is so tight with a lot of tight turns.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, we are on the final lap here, ladies and gentlemen. Final lap, and as you can see on that mini map, the blue is our final area. That is where the race flag will be. That whoever gets past that first, of course, we'll find out who will win. Remember, we are 2 out of 3 on games, on maps here. I can see right now this Grand Oak Raceway map, Speedway map, Grand Oak National. It's looking pretty cool. Lily, you talk a lot about, you've got a lot of great interviews with pro athletes. What kind of stuff are you looking to do with more athletes? You've got a great YouTube channel, and you have interviews. Tell me about that channel and those interviews you've been able to have.
So my YouTube channel has now 3 interviews right now. I've interviewed one of my workout partners from last year. He's not there anymore, but I also interviewed Fallout.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Esports great.
Teddy just took the lead, and they finished the race.
Supra. Here we go.
Yep.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. 2 races, 1 winner. We have team number 3. We have Richard. We have Tyrell. We had some incredible races, and they got it done. So now it's time for us to head to break, because on the way back, we're going to have the latest from the Xbox Adaptive Joystick, plus our final match of the day. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.
Play video games.
Good job.
Leo has issues with his motor ability. He doesn't have access to a lot of things.
There's so many disabled people that deserve a shot to be like everyone else.
I want to be a part of this world.
So this is my Xbox Adaptive Joystick.
It allows her to use the controller without using both hands.
It just clicked to him. This is a joystick, I manipulate the character, and this is how I'm gonna move myself.
You've got every button covered. This is my fun stick topper. You can get different sizes, and this is what I use to make it easier to maneuver. You can get files from the Xbox lineup, then you can go somewhere else and get it printed.
Be yourself, design it how you want. You're playing with your Xbox controller.
Right side, right side.
With the Xbox controller assist, when he needs help, when he gets stuck, I can at least hit the gas for him. Then he can control the rest. Having the joystick levels the playing field for him.
Your character, he can fly, he can do everything you can't do.
He enjoys winning and will definitely let you know when he does.
Woo! Okay, we have a lot more in store, of course, including our final race of the day. But first, we get to talk about something that I am very passionate about, and I know the rest of our casters are as well. That's our Xbox Adaptive Controller, and in this case, our Xbox Adaptive Joystick. It's brand new. It's so exciting. And to talk more about that, we've got Xbox Accessibility Engineer, that's a mouthful, Caitlin Jones.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh man, this definitely made waves when it was announced not long ago. But I gotta tell you, I know that Lily has a bunch of questions in the holster, so I'm gonna pass it off to my co-caster, Lily.
Hi, Caitlin. So I have a YouTube channel where I ask guests 5 quick questions with me. So could I ask you those questions right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. My first question is, when did you start working with video games?
Working with video games, probably around 2018. I was doing a lot of work with video games in hospitals, and then I came over to Microsoft and Xbox as well around that time.
Why did you decide to focus on creating accessible video games?
Well, my dad has a nonprofit. He was adapting video game controllers for a lot of veterans, and he got me into that when I was a little high schooler, and I've just really been passionate about it ever since. I know how important gaming is to a lot of folks with disabilities and without, and I just want to make sure anyone who wants to play can.
That's awesome. What is the best advice you've ever received?
I think it would be trust in the process. Things happen. And you got to keep going, and a lot of times things happen because they're supposed to, and serendipity and life calls, and just keep going.
That's awesome. What advice do you have for anyone that wanted to work in the video game industry?
In the video game industry, I would say just be open and flexible. I come from a non-traditional background coming in the video game industry, and a lot of people really appreciate those alternative perspectives. So don't be afraid to, pursue your passions. And if you want to come back into or join the gaming industry after that, that's totally fine. We appreciate and respect those alternative paths in life and career.
That was some really great advice. And I have one more question to ask you. What one word would you use to describe yourself?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think maybe passionate, very passionate about gaming and accessibility. It's a huge part of my life, so yeah.
Thank you very much, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Well, and that passion, Caitlin, is pretty well on display with this new Xbox Adaptive Joystick. Talk to me a little bit about how you guys worked with the community to really bring this to life.
Yeah, it all started with just a lot of community feedback after the Xbox Adaptive Controller came out, both through social media channels, at conferences, just really anywhere we were interacting face-to-face with members of the community, and they were voicing that they were hoping for an affordable joystick to use with their adaptive controller. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of acted on that, and from there, even with our very, very early prototypes, they weren't functional, they were just kind of shapes. We were bringing them to local hospitals, to adaptive gaming groups, and to different groups of communities to get that really early feedback. So we definitely, believe in the phrase "nothing about us without us." That from the very beginning to the very end, like we're always trying to get in where our gamers are playing and get their feedback to inform the design process.
Excellent. Well, and I got to ask then, how are we using that tool, this joystick, as a tool to help those with physical disabilities? I mean, you've got so many different options with the Xbox Adaptive Controller that now to add a joystick to it, it feels like the options are endless.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it is how flexible it is. Like if you want to use it in kind of a handheld way, you totally can, and that's awesome. But one of my favorite parts about it is actually the little threaded mounting insert that's on the bottom of the joystick. So you can take any kind of mount, a tripod type of mount that a lot of cameras fit on, and just pop it in there and mount it. So we see folks using it with their face or their feet or their elbow, whatever body parts where they might have the best or most accurate amount of movement, and using that flexibility of the mounting system we have in there.
On a broad level, Xbox has been committed to a lot of accessibility features in their games, and now, of course, the adaptive joystick before the adaptive controller, and a number of other features across all of their titles. I guess, why do you think it's so important to Xbox for this to be such a crucial part of their ethos?
I think one of the biggest things that we've realized at Xbox is that accessibility is really for everyone. It can help every player, no matter where they are, in their gaming journey in life, that sort of thing. So we absolutely want to make sure that, again, anyone who wants to play our games or join our platform can, through our hardware and our software features and that sort of thing, and that's first and foremost. But we also realize that someone who might have broken an arm, or they're just holding a baby, they're doing something one-handed, they can also benefit from the flexibility and customization that accessibility offers. And accessibility just makes better experiences and better designs for everyone. So that flexibility is important to us.
In the future, how do you think the adaptive controller and augmented reality are going to go together?
I'm not sure, but I would love for us to keep exploring a way where things like augmented reality, VR, more of those 3D space experiences are more accessible from a physical mobility perspective. I know right now with just the nature of VR, it is not always the most accessible from that point of view. So I hope as we go along in our journey with Xbox, we continue to iterate in the AR, the VR spaces, and see how our adaptive hardware can potentially be a tool for those types of platforms as well.
Nice. Excellent. The future is bright. Hey, speaking of future, Caitlin, can you tell us when we can get our hands on this adaptive joystick?
Yes, so in early 2025.
There you go, xbox.com/accessories for more information. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us, for answering all of our questions, and for being integral to the Xbox accessibility community. Man, that is awesome. She is the best. I'm a big fan. Lily, great questions as always. And Jose, what a good question about augmented reality. I mean, the future is here, and that's awesome. Speaking of the future, we are going to be right back with our final race of the day. We'll meet you back here and at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. This is Gaming for Inclusion. We are here at our showcase, and what a showcase it already is. Now, I may have teased earlier that there was a special surprise for our players. Guess what? There's a reason I'm on this side of the couch with my co-caster, Lily. It's because our co-caster, Jose, extraordinaire, caster to the stars, he is going to be playing here with our other players, our other racers, and they're going to be racing on the Indiana Motor Speedway. I'm very excited. It's from Indiana.
Yeah.
It's where the Indy 500 happens, and we're going to get started right now. Roll it. Here we go. Lily Hammer. Let's talk about it. Okay, the Indianapolis 500. This is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and as you can see, looks like Zach has been doing some work on this tarmac. Lily, I gotta say, this fog seems pretty difficult to drive in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fog's already difficult to drive in, but let's see how they deal with that inclement weather. There we are in reverse. I love it. We've got Jose. That's the way it goes. That's nice. There he's righting the ship. I love it. Now, looks like Zach is in the lead, which is interesting. You know why that's interesting, Lily? Is because Richard has been the one that's been in the lead for the last couple races. But here we have Zach in first. And this is Colin. This is Richard. that. Now, there are 4 laps. We're on lap number 4. As you can see that mini map, you can see there's actually 2 very long straightaways. They're not right now. They're on a sort of a pretty curved section, kind of a wide turn here, which can be super disorienting. So they're doing a great job, all things considered here for sure. Man, look at this. They are just about to come into that other straightaway, getting through to that final round here. Now, Lily, we were talking about it earlier that this Indiana Motor Speedway is the biggest, in terms of spectators, biggest capacity for spectators as an event venue in the world. And I know you are super familiar with the United Center in Chicago. Tell me about what you're going to be doing with them and what you've learned so far as you get trained up to work at the United Center.
I will be ushering and also scanning tickets with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What do they have at the United Center? I've never been.
I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of people.
Oh my gosh, so many people. That's a huge venue.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the Bulls play there.
Yeah.
The Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And then like concerts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier. I had no idea the hockey rink is underneath the basketball court.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Fair enough.
It's a big basketball court under the hockey rink.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, now you're just talking crazy. But let's take a look. Here we are back with Jose, who's on that straightaway, gang. And as you can see those nice assist lines now, this will be when he needs to start braking. And look, he's already doing it. He's making that happen, and he's doing some drifting, which is awesome. That's okay, you know, because luckily all of the cosmetic stuff, everything that happens to these cars, it doesn't impact any of their gameplay, which is awesome. So we can see them get super bashed up, and they're still going to be able to race pretty well here. Jose, you've got this, friend. You've got it. You're doing great. You're killing it on this straightaway once again, which is awesome. I wonder if this fog here, man, Indianapolis.
It's hard to see.
Yeah, it is hard to see, for sure. You're doing a great job. For sure. Nice.
I hit a couple of barriers.
Yeah.
That's where Lily should have said denied.
That makes sense, sir. And now we're looking at Richard's. Oh, now we're over into Zach. Zach is going crazy. He's still the leader here, team, which is such an upset right now, Lily, because we've been seeing Richard dominate this whole time, and yet here we are. Zach is in first. And he's actually handling all of these curves pretty well. Oh, here we go. It's the battle of the yellows. Colin is right ahead of Jose, who is doing his best drift ever, by the way. That's excellent. All things considered, I'm very impressed. That's awesome.
Not bad for a rookie.
Not bad for a rookie at all. And by the way, you're driving really well on that grass. Okay, let's just be clear. That's difficult to do.
Yeah.
You are, however, are doing awesome. And we are with Colin right now, and we're back with our team leader, our leader extraordinaire. You know him as Zach. He is currently rocking that copper car, and he is on that straightaway. Straightaways are where people can really get their speed up. They can really find their way into the front of the pack. However, looks like Richard is just right on his tail. And is it possible, Lily, what do you think? Do you think Richard could retake number one?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I absolutely think you're right. Oh my gosh. That was a hostile takeover, if ever I did see one. But yeah. Looks like... Oh, goodness. Is it possible that Zach is lapping whomever that is? Oh, boy. Now we are on the final lap here, everybody. You see on that mini map that nice blue line right there, that blue little chunk, that is our final checker flag moment. And it looks like, unless something happens here at the last minute, it looks like Zach may pull this out. Richard may have won games 1 and 2. He may have found his race legs, but Zach said, no. Let's find out what first place feels like here at the end of our showcase at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And in some pretty inclement weather here. There we go. Seeing a lot of great handling here. Looks like Colin is trying his best to keep within those lines, which I appreciate. Oh, man. Here we go, Lily. Here we go. And that is how we do that. Well done, Jose. How do you feel post-race? You've just done it all. You've casted, you've raced. How's it going? How you feeling?
I felt great. It was an awesome race. Congratulations to the winner. And it was fun playing Forza.
Awesome. Well, and I think we are all winners here, especially those of us who get to be on the couch with you two fine people. Lily, you had some great one-liners today in some of this casting. How you feel at the end of our showcase?
Awesome!
That's exactly what we want to hear. Gang, if you want to become part of our Special Olympics community by donating, head to our description below. You can find out more information about that Tiltify link. And a huge thank you to Rocket Apples for being a part of this show here today. Man, we had a lot of fun. And we thank you, most importantly, our viewers, because you guys have been doing some great stuff. Either way, thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you later. Woohoo! Forza!
They said I'll never run. Now I run marathons. They said I'll never have a job. Today, I work with global leaders. They said I'll never speak. Now I give speeches to hundreds of people at a time. They said I would never walk. Now I can jump 6 meters. The skills of people with intellectual disabilities go way beyond sports. We will defy your expectation. Help us build a more inclusive world.